So today's video is about finding the area of a triangle. So the first slide is what is a triangle? Well, we know a triangle is a three-sided closed figure. And so here are a couple examples of some triangles. So to find the area of a triangle, you must first locate the base and the height of the triangle. In order to locate the base and the height, what you're going to do is you're going to look for the little right angle square. So if you look down here at this triangle, I'm going to be locating the little right angle square, and the little right angle square is touching the height and the base. So if you notice, this little square is touching the bottom and it's also touching the dotted line. So that means in this triangle, the dotted line is the height, and then the bottom of the triangle is the base. On a right triangle, wherever the little right angle is, again, it's going to be touching the height and the base of the triangle. So if I look at this triangle, the little right angle square is touching this line here, which is the base, and this line here, which is the height. So even if the triangle is turned a different direction, you're still going to be looking for the right angle square to help you locate the base and the height. So if I'm looking at this triangle here, I'm going to look for the little right angle square, and it's touching the base and the height. So if I look at what line it's touching the dotted line, which means that's going to be the height, and then it's touching this line here, which means this is the base. Then sometimes you'll see a dotted line outside of the triangle, and this is going to show you what the height of the triangle is, meaning how tall the triangle is. And again, you're looking for that right angle square, and if you look for the right angle square, again, it's touching the base, which is down here, and it's touching the height. So anytime you're trying to find the area of a triangle, you have to first locate the base and the height, and remember to look for the right angle square. So there are two formulas that can be used to find the area of a triangle. The first formula is that area equals base times height divided by 2, which is the first one that I've shown you here. The second formula is area equals 1/2 times base times height. Either one of these formulas can be used to find the area of a triangle. For our class, we're going to use the first formula, base times height divided by 2. So let's look at some examples. So this first example, we want to find the area of this triangle. So the first thing we need to do is write down our formula. And you want to start with the formula because you want to help remind yourself what the actual area formula is for a triangle. And remember, we're using the formula base times height divided by 2. So that means in order for us to find the area, we've got to look for the base and we have to look for the height. And we said to find, and like I said, to find the base and the height, you have to look for the right angle square. So if I look at this triangle, I notice that the right angle square is touching this dotted line here, and it's touching the bottom of this triangle, which means I have now located the base and the height, which means I have a base of 10 and a height of 7. So in order to find the area, I first multiply the base and the height together. So 7 times 10 gives me 70. And then my final step is to take that number and divide it by 2. So I'm going to take 70 divided by 2, which gives me an area of 35 centimeters squared. And because we're looking for area, our unit needs to be to the second power. So our next example, we're finding the area of this triangle, and this triangle is called a right triangle. And a right triangle means that it has one right angle. And you'll notice with the right triangle, you're not going to see the dotted line. And that's because the little right angle is going to be touching 2 of the lines, which it still means that it's touching the base and the height. So if I look at this triangle here, I'm going to look for that right angle square to help me find the base and the height of this triangle. I'm going to use my formula. Now if you'll notice with this formula, instead of writing out the word area, I just use the letter A. Instead of writing out the word base and writing out the word height, I used B and H. And you are allowed to do that. You can abbreviate it. But you still want to start by writing the formula. So our formula is A for area equals B for base times H for height. So again, I've got to look for that base and that height. So if I'm looking at this triangle, I locate my right angle square, and that means I have a height of 12 and a base of 12. So to start, I'm going to do 12 times 12, and we know that gives us 144. And then the last step is to do 144 divided by 2, which gives me an area of 72 inches squared. So this example, even if the triangle is turned a different direction, you're still going to use the same formula to find area. Area equals base times height divided by 2. We're still going to look for the right angle square to help us find the base and the height. And if you'll notice with this triangle, you've got some extra lengths in here. And I did this on purpose because we want to make sure that we're looking only for the base and the height. So when we look for that right angle square, we're going to see what line is the right angle square touching. It's touching the dotted line here, and it's touching this line of the triangle. That's 12 meters. So we're going to use the 3.5 meters and the 12 meters to find the area of our triangle. So area is going to equal 12 times 3.5 divided by 2. So we're going to do 12 times 3.5 first, which gives us 42, and then 42 divided by 2 is 21, which means we have an area of 21 meters squared. Our final example, we don't have a picture, and you're not always going to get a picture when you're trying to find the area of a triangle. Sometimes they'll tell you in word form the base and the height. So in this example, it says find the area of a triangle with a base of 15 feet and a height of 11 feet. Well, now that you know the base and the height, you can simply plug it into the formula. And the formula is still base times height divided by 2. So I'm going to do 15 times 11. And that's going to give me 165, and then I'm going to divide that by 2, which gives me a total area of 82.5 feet square. So just keep in mind, to find the area of a triangle, you need to first locate the base and the height, and to do that, you got to look for the little right angle square. And once you locate the base and the height, you want to use the formula area equals base times height divided by 2.